practice, right?
We're live, boys.
Okay.
What? We're live?
Yeah.
Who's live? So I'll follow the leader. You do whatever. some of the skis came to shore also, just be advised, some of them are shore.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 36th Annual Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix. We're going to start the day off with some P1 Aquacross. This is Mike Young, and I'm joined by my good friend Martin Sanborn.
Mike, it is great to be here in Sarasota, the 36th running of this event. This is one of the longest standing events of powerboat racing, and to have Aquacross here and give these people something to watch with these great riders, it's going to be amazing. I'm kind of surprised. It is pretty flat out there right now. It's going to get a little choppier as these guys start running, but surprisingly for Sarasota, nice calm day so far.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you said it's going to get a little bit choppy. Well, it should get a little bit choppy. We've got 24 race boats in this first one. This is our pro class, the Pro 300 class. And let me go through the lineup real quick before we get started here. We got boat number 191 in pole position, Sophie Francis, who hit the podium for the first time this year, the only female to ever hit the podium. Tori Snyder, who took a win in Daytona. He'll be out there on boat number 110. 105 is Christian Daly. 73, Greg Radulski. Boat number 46 is Chris McCluggage, the GOAT. Boat number 149 is Tim Ducat. Jason Russo will be on boat number 77. Erminio Iantosca, number 94. 777 is Juan Liscano. Vanjie Ramjeet out of the Cayman Islands will be on boat number 116. Boat number 153 is Anthony Radetich. Alex Cushman will be out there on boat number 203. 230 is Rashid Aldawas coming all the way from Kuwait. Boat number 502 rather is Brian Baldwin, who was the 2019 national champion. 585, Victor Nolan. 911, Eric Francis, who was the 2019 world champion. 243 is James Wilson. Boat number 361, the outlaw Eric Lagopoulos, one of the local guys here. Boat number 724, Benjamin Montel. Michael Bouchard will be on boat number 45. 93 is Michelle Calasanto. Gunnar Trailer on boat number 115, sponsored by Route 1 Power Sports. Boat number 118 is Troy Snyder, and 201, one of our rookies, is Chris Landis. And here we go. The green flag is up, and Marty, boogity, boogity, boogity. It's time to go racing here in Sarasota.
Here we go. Now, how do they set up their lane choices here for the beginning of the race, Mike?
Basically, what that is, it's luck of the draw. They put them all in the computer. Computer spits them out, and that's the way that they go. And it looks like right now, boat number 502, I believe, or check that, 94, that's Iantosca that's out in front. And Iantosca making the switch this year from Sea-Doo to Yamaha.
That's a big deal for them to make a major equipment change.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Erminio Iantosca, boat number 94. He's out of Naples, Florida, sponsored by Riva Racing. Riva sponsoring a lot of the favored racers out there, and it looks like he's got some company there on the outside.
Was that number 911? I couldn't tell from the...
It looked like it possibly was. That could have been
Eric Francis on the outside?
Yeah, Francis. And then I see Tori Snyder. Tori, a rookie here in the pro class, who took a win in Daytona Beach back there on the aqua green ski, back there in that third position, as they come up to the apex of the track and make the turn back onto the course.
Now, this morning we had a change. The course was originally going to go clockwise, and then they announced this morning they switched it around to counterclockwise.
Not quite sure. I don't know if the wave's going in a different direction. Maybe it's closer to the pits. Who knows? We're not the race directors. We're just the announcers.
That's right.
So again, a nice green flag start. And it looks like, again, Iantosca out in front, running the red, white, and blue skis, trimmed in black. Again, Ian Tosca out of Naples, Florida, been racing for many, many years. And for many of those years, he's been racing on a Sea-Doo. This is the first year he's ever been on a Yamaha and actually hit the podium back in Daytona. Took a second place in Daytona. Cocoa Beach was a little messed up for all of us as we only had one moto and we had some horrible weather, some horrible wind out there. So glad to be here in Sarasota. That's all I can say.
There you go. Ian Tosca out in front. Tell us a little bit about how we're going to break down the races this weekend in terms of the number of motos these guys are expected to have, because we have aquacross racing all day today, and the final race tomorrow is also going to be aquacross.
Right. I believe we're running 2 amateur races today. Next amateur race will come up right after this first pro race here, and then that's going to be it for the amateurs. The pros will race twice today and then once again tomorrow. So that's the pros going to be running 3 motos, but the amateurs actually got a couple extra motos when we went to Kissimmee, and the pros weren't invited a couple of months ago.
Well, he has got some clean water way out front right now. He had Francis right alongside him at the start, and he just checked out once he got to that clean water.
And you can take a nice shot there from the drone footage, and you can see Ian Tosca with about a 3-second lead right now as he works the south side of the track, getting ready to head back north here. And Ian Tosca, a lot of family support. His younger brother Joey, they have a pizza shop down there in Naples called Mamma Mia's Pizza. His brother kind of runs the pizza shop. He's got a sister, Christina, who's actually worked with us at the races for many, many years. His mom, Josephine, a big part of his support cast.
Now here at P1 Aquacross is not a number of laps also. That's another important thing for people that have never seen it before. This is a timed race.
That's right, 25 minutes plus 1 lap here in the pro class. That's what we're doing today. And I just noticed right behind Ian Tosca, I seen Tori Snyder working his way up into the picture. Tori sponsored by Snyder Built out of Bradenton, Florida. And Tori, a rookie here in this class, taking his first win ever in Daytona Beach. Man, I'll tell you, this kid is something else. He is going to be one to watch, and he's going to be one of those guys, you know, that follows in his father's footsteps. Again, we got Ian Tosca out in front, boat number 110, I believe that is Tori Snyder, and then you got the 912 back there in the 3rd spot. And unfortunately, we don't have a 912 on our sheet. That could be possibly 911. Francis, 361, Legopolis back there in the 4th spot, followed by boat number 230, Benjamin Montel, who is also a rookie here in the pro class. It's like 105 Daly in 6th, 191, Sophie Francis in 7th. And then I believe we've got boat number 131 back there in the 8th spot. And again, there's been some number swaps going on, and unfortunately we don't have him here with us.
Glad to see Eric Legopoulos up there in the front of the pack. Local boy. Haven't seen him for a couple of years. Looking forward to running into him in the pits.
Yeah, Eric Legopoulos has a restaurant just up the street here, or down the street rather, in Osprey, called the Waterfront 2 Restaurant, voted Sarasota County's #1 prime rib. We might have to check him out on that tonight.
Might have to check that out.
But back out to your race leader. It is Ian Tosca, boat number 94. And he is not looking back. Boy, I'll tell you, Ian Tosca has really done a lot of work here. He's come a long way in the past couple of years, and it looks like COVID did him okay.
You know, to make that switch from Yamaha to Sea-Doo, what do you think drove that?
You know, I think a lot of it was the Yamaha has a heavier boat, and with a lot of the aquacross races, they're racing in the surf. In order to stay hooked up, you got to have a heavier boat, you know, something that's going to be sticking to the water. And I think that was probably it. You know, Sea-Doo had supported him for many, many years, but Sea-Doo's boats are just a little bit lighter, and Yamaha has an advantage when it comes to racing P1 Aquacross. Speaking of Yamaha, big shout out to our good friend Bryce, who is here representing Yamaha. Came down from Atlanta this weekend.
Now, where the lighter boat might have an advantage in calmer water racing, though.
Yes, yeah. If you're on a lake, Sea-Doo probably a little bit better for you. However, you know, when you're in the surf, Yamaha a little bit heavier, going to stick to the water a little bit better. And you can see he is on the charge. It is still boat number 94, Ian Tosca, out in front. And I believe 501. They got 501 in 3rd place right there. That could be 502. Brian Baldwin in that 3rd place position. I believe that's Tori Snyder still in 2nd. Eric Legopoulos still running in 4th. 230, I believe, is Benjamin Montel. Montel, a rookie in this class, wasn't able to race in Daytona or Coco, didn't have his boat together yet, so this is his first race. So this, him being a rookie, that's the top rookie right now, and he's running in top 5 position. So a great race right now for Benjamin Montel. That is the 5:02 right there of Brian Baldwin. Brian sponsored by Riva Racing, but he owns Champion Power Sports up there in Mooresville, North Carolina. Race City, USA.
Yeah, a boat I don't see up front that we're used to seeing up front. Where's the goat?
Yeah, I was looking for McCluggage myself. Not sure if he may be having some boat issues or what. But McCluggage, you know what? His boat's been, very, I would guess you could say, hair trigger this year. There's a couple races that he didn't finish, but then when he does finish, he's finishing up on top. And that's what happened in Daytona. He didn't finish first race, but still ended up in the second spot on the podium.
Race leader looking over his shoulders, who went around that left-hand turn there, checking to see what kind of a lead he's got. First time I've seen him look back.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. The race ain't going on behind you. It's always going on in front of you. And especially you're the leader, you're not going to know where you're going if you're taking a look behind you. And you never know when that rogue wave's going to come in and set you back. So again, you still got Ian Tosca out in front, followed by the 110 of Torrey Snyder, Brian Baldwin in third. You got Eric Lagopoulos, 361 in the 4th spot, Montel 230 in 5th, followed by Daly, and then Sophie Francis up there in the
7th position.
Yeah, not too bad. Sophie started in pole position, but has kept that 7th position. That's a great job by her. And I see back there in the 9th position is Chris Landis, boat number 201, and that's another guy that you don't want to count out because he's been very consistent. I believe he had a 4th in Daytona and had a 5th in Cocoa Beach. So another rookie that's proven to be a thorn in the side, I guess you could say, of some of these experienced pros.
Looking at the water conditions out there, especially after what we know Cocoa Beach was like, and then Daytona is always a rough water race also. They've probably got to be enjoying this just a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. Well, they all like the West Coast better than the East Coast. I'll tell you that for sure. No offense to all of our East Coast racers out there, but the West Coast, always a lot calmer. The beaches just seem to be a little bit more groomed and the water a little bit more greener. But unfortunately, there's a lot more manatees and sea turtles.
I can tell you from years of racing here in Sarasota, this race course can absolutely turn on you and get really nasty. But, we have had, for the people that live in South Florida know what, the Florida weather's been kind of weird this year so far, and we're looking at gorgeous weather out there right now.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And you can see just along the beach right there, you see all the race fans lined up. This is always a huge weekend, and this is a Summerfest weekend here as a part of the 36th annual Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix. And always a good time to be in Sarasota. So anywhere near July 4th, man, Sarasota is the place to be.
Absolutely, and it's always been a fabulous charity that we support here with the Suncoast Kids Foundation. I remember for years that we'd all come here and we'd all bring our race uniforms from the year before and donate them to the kids, and they just loved it. It was fantastic.
That's awesome. So we're taking a look again at Erminio Ian Tosca. We call him Skinny-O on the beach. Erminio, again, been racing for nearly 25 years. He's still got Torrey Snyder, boat number 110, about 4.5 seconds off the pace. You can see Snyder right there looking pretty stout. And he's one of those, he's a young gun, he's only like 20 years old. And, he kind of waits to the end, and he's one of those that comes in like a viper, and just will bite you right there at the end. 5:02, the same way. Brian Baldwin, he just wants to keep the top 2 in his gun sights. Currently running in 3rd spot. Lagopoulos still running in 4th in front of a hometown crowd. And Benjamin Montel, 230 in the 5th spot. Once again, 25 minutes plus a lap. That's what we're doing here.
The other thing that really impresses me about these guys is their regular training regimen. These guys, to do what they do for 25 minutes 3 times in a weekend, all of us can go out and run on a jet ski and run like maniacs for 10, 15 minutes, but these guys do it for 30 minutes at a pop 3 times. Right,
and not to mention you've got 23 of your best friends trying to catch you. And looked like Chris McCluggage, we were talking about that a little bit earlier, Marty. We were saying, where's McCluggage? We don't see him here in the top 9. Well, it appears that he has a mechanical issue.
Oh, disappointing for McCluggage.
Yeah, tough break there for boat number 46, Broward Motorsports pilot. And boat number 94, again sponsored by Riva Racing, Dave Bamdis and company over there in Pompano Beach. helping out your race leader.
You know, looks like he's getting ready to come into some lap traffic right now. That's going to change how clean his water is for a hot moment.
Yeah, you know, and that's the one thing. You know, we're not seeing lap traffic till about now, but that's the difference. They're not combined with the amateurs. The amateurs will be coming up the next race, and a lot of times they combine the pros with the amateurs, and those 200 horsepower boats, you know, they get lapped within the first couple laps. So Arminio's had nothing but clean water in front of him, and now here comes the test.
That's right. It's going to change his strategy going around turns, and it's also going to change what the water conditions are for him around those turns, because you watch how these guys square the turns off. Some of them actually thump into those markers as they go around.
Again, you still got Ian Tosca out in front. Tori Snyder, boat number 110 in second, 5:02 is Baldwin in third. 361 Legopolis in fourth, 230 Montel in fifth, 105 Daly in sixth, Sophie Francis in seventh. We got the 131 in eighth, 201 Chris Landis in ninth, and 585 Victor Nolan rounding out your top 10, who comes to us from the Tidewater area up there in near Virginia.
Now, Ian Tosca looked like he was running right in the track of the boat ahead of him. You know, normally in the propeller boats we don't like that, and I'm sure in jet boats it's also an issue as well. That aerated water is not going to hook up as well with the pump.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You can see now he's off to the right-hand side. Yeah, he's off to the right-hand side trying to find some clean water. As the back marker, you can see he goes a little bit wide, lets your leader come through. Very sportsmanlike thing to do. And
now they also have flag guys in the corners also letting them know when a rider's getting ready to overtake them as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. If you get a blue flag thrown at you, or blue flag with a yellow stripe, that basically means there's a race going on and you ain't in it.
There you go. So that's not a flattering flag.
No, it's not a flattering flag. Yeah, exactly. That's one that you hope that Clint keeps in his holster there.
That's right.
So again, Ian Tosca on the charge right now and looking to go wire to wire here. Grabbed that hole shot and has never looked back. We'll see if he can hold on to it. Again, he's got some good company right behind him there, and Tori Snyder and Brian Baldwin. Again, Snyder with a win in Daytona, and the kid's hungry. I believe ran top 5 in Coco as well. So
the hole shot makes all the difference in boat racing. Car racing, you got a draft and you can do some things. Boat racing, you've got to get that clean water. And when you get that clean water, if your boat is strong, you really control the race. You control the lane, you control the turn, you can push people around in the turns and give them the lousy line. And then when you start getting into traffic, if you got the power, you can kind of push them around into the mess of everybody else.
Well, that's what we call it. It's either destiny or density.
There you go.
94 right now. His destiny is first place. That is Ian Tosca, Tori Snyder. Baldwin still running 2 and 3 with Legopolis and Montel chasing. Boy, I'll tell you, what a race we got here. What great race conditions. I mean, if you're a racer, today is one of those days you want to be out there racing in Sarasota Bay.
Well, it makes you be able to look forward to your second and third race with a little more, optimism, as opposed to I'm going to be so whipped that I can't even hold on to the handles anymore.
Now, this is something that you don't see too often. You see Ian Tosca right now, and he's staying out of the whitewater. But that whitewater is being produced by Troy Snyder, who is Tori's father. So you got father and son right there, both in the same screen with your race leader right behind him, and he can feel the heat
nice
too.
Move. Jumps to the inside to get around him on the inside.
Yeah, look at that, side by side, deck to deck. Don't get any better than that. And you never see Troy Snyder, being lapped. And there is his son. His son is just outside the framework right here. As Snyder goes wide, lets the leader go by, and I'm sure he's going to let his son go by.
But he slammed the door on him when he got to that right-hander. You knew that was coming.
Oh, you know who's taking out the trash this week.
That's right.
So, again, Ian Tosca out in front. Tori Snyder trying to get around his father, whose elbows got about 9 feet wide as they went into that turn.
So there's no love happening there.
No. You know what? I've heard about their what they call, in quotation marks, trailer talks. And Troy tells it like it is. If you want to know where you're at, you want a black and white story. You ask Troy Snyder, and he's going to tell you exactly where you stand.
Yeah, there will be no gray.
There will be no gray. But it looks like Tori was able to get around his father. So Tori on the chase right now. Only about 3 seconds off the pace, being thrown down by Ian Tosca. Now we'll see if Ian Tosca tires out a little bit. As again, you still got boat number 110. They're saying Snyder is up in front right now but what we got on the screen. No, the 110 is actually, I believe, 101, which is Troy Snyder. So they might have that wrong right there, because we haven't seen Ian Tosca get passed by Tori yet. Tori still on boat number 110, and that's the number that he stole off of his father. With looks like Legopolis moving up into that third place position,
moving Sophie up into 6th.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm sure she'd be stoked to get a podium here this weekend. This is one of the largest crowds that we have all season long. And for her to put the Broward Motorsports Yamaha up there in a top 5 position even would be epic for her. There is the 110 right now. That is Tori Snyder. Tori again out of Bradenton, Florida. His first year as a pro. Sponsored, we've got a lot of sponsors actually. Snyder built one of their larger sponsors, but Riva Racing I know helps them out immensely as well.
But it looks like he's running right in the wake of Ian Tosca, but they're showing him as our leader right now on our points tally that they are keeping us up to date with. And want to thank all the people in scoring. It certainly makes our jobs easier when we have updates.
Yes, that's
a lot of boats on the course.
Yeah, a lot of folks don't understand that we're not actually out there watching the race. We're sitting in a nice room here at the Lido Beach Resort,
with air conditioning.
With air conditioning, right, and a big TV screen in front of us. Back out to Ian Tosca. Yeah, it is Ian Tosca still out in front, just as we suspected. Tori Snyder in second, still Baldwin in third, Legopolis in fourth, Montel in fifth, Christian Daly in sixth, 191. That is Sophie back there in the 7th position. And they've got a boat number 131 here for us, and we're still looking. We don't have a boat number 131 on our sheet, so we'll have to have that corrected by our race number 2, which will be happening a little bit later this afternoon. Looks like we're going to do these first 2 aquacross races, the pro, and then we'll do the amateur next, and then we're going to take a break for some testing out there for the big boats.
There you go. Now we've got another ski is pulled off. They've got 2 skis have pulled off in addition to McCluggage. So we'll see if we can find out what happened to those skis.
You got to wonder, where's Eric Francis? He was the world champion back in 2019.
Man, he was a machine.
And it's crazy to think that he's not up there running in the top 5. And 230, not Benjamin Montel. That's actually Rashid Aldawas. Looks like there's about 8 minutes left. 8 minutes plus a lap left for your race leader right there. Arminio Ian Tosca, sponsored by Riva Racing. He's also sponsored by Jet Pilot. And I'll never forget, a couple of years ago, Jet Pilot, he came out to the World Finals out in Lake Havasu, and Jet Pilot gave him a completely gold wetsuit, a metallic gold wetsuit. I mean, he looked like the Iron Man walking down the beach.
There you go.
So that's actually, again, Rashid Aldawas, 230 back there in the 5th position. Rashid coming all the way from Kuwait City, Kuwait, and has about 10 world championships under his belt. That was 243 that had pulled off a little bit earlier, another one of the Broward Motorsports racers, and that is Jimmy Wilson. Wilson filling in for Dennis Mack. Dennis Mack had suffered a broken leg in Daytona Beach, and then they had an open spot in the trailer, and Jimmy Wilson from Hebron, Ohio, stepped right into that. And Jimmy, you might know the name, is a former pro ski national champion.
There you go.
So made the transfer from the skis to the sit-downs, and glad to see him back out on the track. But tough break, as it looks like they've been having some clutch problems over there. 110, Tori Snyder on the charge, still in second place, but he's still got Ian Tosca right there in his crosshairs. As you can see, he's kind of riding just to the left-hand side of his whitewater, about 3 seconds off the pace, being thrown down by Ian Tosca as time starts to tick away here in our first Pro-Am Enduro of the weekend.
He looks just a little bit looser on the water than Ian Tosca does. When you watch him going around the turns, a little bit more of a slide. Is that a matter of how he's running the ski, or is it the bottom of the boat?
Yeah, well, you know what? Don't let the boat drive you. You drive the boat.
Amen.
That's what he was saying the other day, because we were talking to him in the pits in Cocoa, and that's exactly what he said. He's like, you know what, you got to stay loose out there, because 25 minutes plus a lap's a long time. If you're gripping in bars real hard, you're gonna suffer that arm pump, and it's really gonna wear on you. It's gonna make the fatigue set in, especially towards the latter stages of the race.
And you find that the guys that are going to be running tomorrow in the cats, it's almost a little bit of the opposite. You got to kind of let the boat do what the boat wants to do, and you just guide it with those boats. So little different philosophy, but what these guys do, and we're going to really start seeing it this afternoon about halfway through the race. When that fatigue starts setting in, no matter how trained you are, especially if the weather changes and it starts getting bumpy.
Yeah, and you see a lot of guys, there's a lot of different riding styles, and Ian Tosca right now looks very comfortable with his riding style. You could see he was just kind of sitting on the boat, kind of using his knees as, some shock absorbers. Obviously, no suspension on these Yamahas as of yet, but hey, don't worry, it's Yamaha. They're right around the corner. Again, you still got Ian Tosca out in front, Tori Snyder in second, 5:02 is Baldwin in third, 2:30 Rashid Aldawas moves up into the fourth spot, Daly in fifth on boat number 105, sponsored by Broward Motorsports, and looks like Lagopoulos has slid back into that sixth place position. Maybe too much of that prime rib last night.
Well, I'll give the benefit of the doubt that it could also be getting tied up into some of that lap traffic. He just didn't fare quite as well getting through the lap traffic, and that's where you start seeing some lane or some position changes happen as they start having to weave their way through that lap traffic.
Well, again, as you say, lap traffic, here comes Ian Tosca up to another lapper, and working to the inside of Ian Tosca was Tori Snyder. Tori's going to try to make this one interesting. You can see Snyder right there in the same frame as your race leader.
But he zipped wide through the outside, but he's trying to stay in clean water. There he tried to go back to the inside. He's clearly trying to find a place where he's not running in that white water where he can get hooked up going around the turns.
Ian Tosca looking for his first, I guess you could say, race victory of the season. This would give him 25 points, 25 for the winner, 20 for second. Then I believe it goes like 18, 16, 14. And that's the way that we count them out. And you can see right there, on his heels right now, is Tori Snyder, and I'm looking for Snyder because Snyder right there now in the same frame as they come up to a back marker. I believe that's Russo that they're getting ready to get by.
Tori looks like he's using the wake as a ramp so that he just really lays into that turn a little bit more. He's really picking a nice line.
Yeah, Tori also sponsored by Dean's team. Dean Cherrier spinning the wrenches on the Snyder built boats. And I tell you, that's one mechanic that you want to have looking under your hood right there. Dean Cherrier, probably, if not the best, one of the best in the business.
On these pro skis, what kind of horsepower are we talking about?
These skis right here, you're probably looking at right around 300 to 350. These are stock skis. Not too many modifications allowed, just some handling, and you're allowed to dial it up a little bit with your Map Tuner X. So you can get a little bit more horsepower out of it, but basically the compartment, the whole engine is a stock engine, no internal work at all.
What are they allowed to modify in terms of the pickup and the impeller and all that on the output side? Well,
you can get a different ride plate, help you out with getting that motion through the pump. Of course, your bars, you can switch up your bars a little bit, but that's about it. You can't really, you're not allowed to change your impeller. Got to be a stock impeller. The impeller has got to, the numbers have to match what your stock ski is. And I've seen guys get disqualified left and right for trying to change the impeller and, try to fool the lie detector, so to speak.
The great thing I love about aquacross is there are so many ways to get into it that if you have a ski, you can get out here and do this.
That's it. And that's the way that they set up the rules, so you could go and what wins on Sunday sells on Monday. White flag, I believe, is going to be coming out the next lap. Your leader still Ian Tosca. Right there in his back pocket, though, is Tori Snyder, 5:02. Baldwin just a little off the pace in 1:05. Christian Daly up into that fourth place position. Daly staying consistent. And Daly was actually picked to win this race as the white flag will come out this time around. One more lap to go. They call it the Hallelujah flag.
There you go. Boy, if he's going to do something, he's got a half a lap to do it right now.
Right. Well, Snyder's right there. He's waiting for a slip, trip, or a bobble from Ian Tosca. Ian Tosca's, he's owned the track since for the last 24 and a half minutes, that's for sure.
He's coming up to some more lap traffic. So he's got to position himself well because, like you said, one little bobble and he goes from first to third probably.
Yeah, that was 585 Nolan, who was in 10th place. So it looks like Ian Tosca has lapped all the way up to 10th place currently. And we'll see if any of this lap traffic shows him down. Beautiful shot there of the Sarasota skyline.
With these stock skis, what's the maximum top speed?
Maximum top speed, I'm going to say with conditions like today, probably 74, 75. Normally, they're running about 68 to 72 in the surf. But the conditions today, it's a little bit lighter, so I'd give them a couple more miles an hour. Now with the Map Tuner X and dialing it up, throwing the computer on it, you can get a lot more horsepower. You can probably get them up to about 80 to 82 mile per hour.
And these are supercharged skis, right?
These are supercharged, that's correct. Ian Tosca, not too much time to go.
He's coming up to that right-hand turn, going to set himself up for the his next left-hander, and that should take him right along the beach towards the start-finish line.
That's it. Looks like the checkered flag should be coming out any time now for Ian Tosca. And Ian Tosca again with a handful of throttle. Look at that. And you can see that the checkered flag came out. He won it. His first ever P1 Aquacross win.
Flag to flag.
Flag to flag. I'll tell you what, doesn't get any better than that. If you're going to do it, that is the way to do it. And I'm sure he's got some happy sponsors down there on the beach, especially in Riva Racing, as Tori Snyder pulls up beside him. And you can see the little fist bump right there, the camaraderie amongst the two racers. And I'll tell you, both of them gave it all they got. Tori Snyder also picking up some great sponsorship this year from Visit St. Pete Clearwater,
right,
which we're going to be doing a little bit later on this year.
Yep, great race venue, and we've got a boat coming up tomorrow that's going to be running in the Visit St. Pete Clearwater.
Good stuff right there. Ian Tosca and Tori Snyder congratulating each other just outside the picture. You got boat number 502 running the Stars and Bars. That's Brian Baldwin, who ended up in that third place position, followed by Rashid Aldawas in fourth. Boat number 105, Christian Daly in fifth. 361, Legopolis in sixth. And boat number 191, that dangerous female out there, Sophie Francis, on the hunt.
I'd love to know where Eric ended up in it, but I'm sure that he has got to be just proud as can be of his wife, because she is killing it.
Right, he's doing the dishes this week. As Ian Tosca, I love him. Did you see what he did? He opened up his glove box. He had the water in his glove box the whole time because he knew at the end of the race he was going to need a drink. And no Dasani sponsorship needed.
No, that's right.
So you're taking a look right there at your race leader, a very jubilant Erminio Ian Tosca as he comes up to the beach. I'm sure the TV crew from Greenlight's going to be down there and getting all the money shots as Ian Tosca jumps off the boat. First win ever. Congratulations, Erminio Ian Tosca, Riva Racing, for all the hard work, all the effort that's been put into this. It looks like it has all finally come together.
So what do we have up next, Mike? What's our next set of races?
Well, we're going to go with our amateur 300. That's going to be combined with our amateur 200. Going to be 33 total racers in this next one. I believe 19 of them are going to be in the 300, and 14 of them will be in the 200. And this is the largest 200 class that we've ever had at P1 Aquacross.
Now, what is the distinction? How does somebody transition from being an amateur to the pro in the 300s?
Well, if you're in the 300 and you're in the top three, I would say it's probably a good idea to go pro. But if you're the top one, you must go pro. If you win the class, you have to go pro the following year.
There you go. Keeps the amateur guys coming in and not having to race against ringers.
Right, exactly. And we've seen that in racing. I know that you've seen it in boat racing all the time. Where a guy is good enough to step up to the next level, but just wants to dominate the level that he's on, and keep bringing them trophies home and, look good in front of all the girls out there on the beach.
I have an analogy for that, but I'm going to spare it. I might talk about it off camera, off air, and we can chuckle about it. But it is important to maintain the integrity of the sport. But again, the Aquacross Series was built around the idea of getting people back into ski racing using one of the most prolific boats on planet Earth is a jet ski. So so many people have them, and so many people play with them on the weekends. And hey, you can come out and try. You can come out in the amateur classes, and if you have the safety equipment, you can go racing.
That's it. You know, they're showing a couple of the amateur racers right there. Boat number 239. They were just showing Bobby Cardone. Cardone, sponsored by Cardone's Corner, little show that he does on Monday nights, and had a special show just the other night featuring Travis Pastrana. We're going straight into racing for the amateurs. After their practice, they're going to take them, I believe, on a practice loop or so, and then we'll line them up and take them racing. But Cardone's Corner, getting back to that, had Travis Pastrana, who's driving the Miss Geico boat this weekend, on the show, and it was neat, you know, to see Travis Pastrana's take on the whole aquacross and personal watercraft or jet ski thing, if you will. And he was talking about back in the day, he used to go out to Lake Havasu and watch the World Finals, and his favorite racer was Victor the Slasher Sheldon. Which, you know, all these motorsports guys, especially, you know, the real good motorsports guys, all kind of hang out together, because Slasher's best friend is Jeremy McGrath, who you might have heard. He's only got 7 Supercross titles, but it's funny how, like, they all kind of hang together, all these motorsports guys.
You know, I can tell you, on the boat racing side, the guys that transition from one motorsport to another that do the best in offshore is guys that come from bikes.
That's awesome.
Because I've kind of attributed it to, you know, one of my favorite guys to commentate with, Charlie Hames, also one of the guys that came from motocross. You know, they're just used to, they're driving on uneven surfaces. They're used to that sensation of weightlessness. You know, you're airborne and your course is different every time you go around, pretty much. So, you know, and that's something that really just lends itself to what these guys are doing. I'm actually a little surprised that Travis didn't jump into this being as competitive as it is. Yeah, I would say both, because he is a machine, that guy.
Yeah.
But, you know, as it is, he's running 2 boats this weekend. So.
Right. You know, and it's funny because, you know, when Bobby was interviewing him, he was talking about, you know, what's his favorite thing to do. And I guess he flew in Thursday through that rainstorm, that crappy rainstorm that we had, thunderstorm, from Utah. And he was out there. He was testing his new rally cross car.
Nice.
So he's like, you know, I've been having a lot of fun with this lately, and then you know, now getting into Miss Geico, man, what a sensation that's got to be.
That's got to be, and being in the boat with Steve Curtis, you know, there's a guy with a wealth of experience, and that boat just boogies.
Here we go. Well, it looks like we're going to stage him up here for our amateur 300 and 200 class. Once again, 33 racers in this next one.
Now, we talked about this as the luck of the draw for the first race. Now, how do they set up the lineup for the second races for the classes that are with multiple motos?
Okay, it's how you finish in your first race. The first race is kind of a luck of the draw, you know, however the computer spits it out. And then the second race is how you finished on the first race.
So if you finish first, you're on the inside?
That's it.
There you go. So you earn that inside lane.
But a lot of times the inside lane ain't the best lane. You know, you kind of want to be in the middle.
Unless you get a hole shot.
You're right. Yeah. So you can see they're all getting in the gate here for our amateur class 515. Mikey Martinez will be in pole position. He'll be followed by 714, Domenico Barilla, 915, Mohed Saleh, number 239, Bobby Cardone, 175 is Daniel Fiallo. Fiallo, current points leader, as we get ready to go. And you can see these amateurs are anxious. As
looked to me like he was holding up a green flag. Now, all right, so their start is when the green flag drops.
That's correct.
Well, I want to give a shout out to the people in scoring. This, you know, been doing this for a long time, and we are getting incredible scoring information right now that is absolutely just a lifesaver.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Exactly, because, you know, there's a lot of times we can only see what we've got here on the screen. As we pointed out, we're sitting in a hotel room up here at Lido Beach Resort, and you can see what they're doing is they're getting them re-gated again, and they're going to slow them down a little bit, because you could see that as they were coming around the outside on that last start, that they were coming in hot. So you can see they're trying to take them from an idle, and everybody's looking over at the side. So it's hard to stay even, you know. I mean, this is
it is.
This is like herding cats out there.
It is. and we have a green flag. Here we go.
All right. I'll say, you know, Graham Hunt got to be one of the favorites here. Boat number 808, delaminated in Cocoa Beach, but was a big winner in Daytona. And Daniel Fiallo took the win in Cocoa Beach, boat number 175. That looks like possibly 808 on the inside, followed by Barilla. Barilla got the pink helmet and the black and green black and green Yamaha out there. 175, that's Daniel Fiallo, current points leader, right there beside
Is it number 315 or is it number 50? That's the other challenge we have, is trying to, the numbers on the skis a lot harder to read.
Looks like a 515 of Mikey Martinez, and that's 175. Daniel Fiallo pulling up right beside him. We talked about Martinez had pole position, and you were talking about, hey, yeah, you got pole position. That's the closest, a straight line is the closest between 2 points. And yeah, Martinez
skip across the back of that wake.
Daniel Fiallo, solid lead right now as Fiallo takes a look back, and that's not what he wants to do. Look, he's looking back again. And again, that's a sign of an amateur racer.
Yep. At that point, when you've got the lead, you need to pick your line. It's the other guy's responsibilities to drive around you.
That's it. Daniel Fiallo, and I'll tell you, he's been working hard at this. You know, he also does our hydro drag races and stuff up there in Tavares, Florida. But Fiallo has really taken a shine to this amateur 300 class. You know, he ran the 200 class back in 2018 and 2019, so this is his first year in the 300 class, and he picked up some new sponsorship too in Broward Motorsports and Cabrera Power Sports. So David Cabrera, Speedy Cabrera, is actually spinning the wrenches for that machine right there, and you can see he's already put a little bit of real estate between he and second place.
Big time.
Again, nice view of the beaches here at Sarasota and Lido. Great place to be. If you're out there listening to us on the live stream, boy, I'll tell you, you and your family need a vacation. Lido Beach right here in Sarasota is probably one of the most prime beaches in Florida.
Yesterday we had the street party, which is another key part of our week here in Sarasota, and all the boats were actually lined up on the street.
Yeah, very cool scene last night. I made the trek down there from Rafferty's yesterday. Lots of fun to be had there in Sarasota, especially during that boat party. There's Graham Hunt right there, black helmet, blue Yamaha, and you can see him going past Bobby Cardone, boat number 239, sponsored by Cardone's Corner. But Graham Hunt in the hunt right now, sponsored by Champion Power Sports, one of Brian Baldwin's proteges. Baldwin taking a third in that pro class that we just seen. And speaking of this race right here, this race, just like the first race, Martin, you're going to be 25 minutes plus a lap.
And then we'll have a break after this one for the boats to come out and do some practicing, and then it's back to motos.
Yeah, back to motos as I take a look down here. The Aquacross Pro Moto 2 is supposed to be going on at 3 p.m. So we've got a nice big break here for testing for all the offshore boats. As we go back on board here with your race leader, Daniel Fiallo. Fiallo, again, sponsored by Broward Motorsports. And, you know, he was so stoked about picking up that sponsorship. Came up to me at the beginning of the year. He's like, Mike, you know, he's like, no longer, you know, am I with the team that he was with before. He's like, I'm with this team, and this team is a real team. So he doesn't have to, carry his boat to and from the water and stuff like that. You know, he's got what you would call the factory ride, if you will.
There you go.
And that's not too bad for being an amateur. So, taking a look, that's still Mikey Martinez back there in the second place position. Boat number 14 in third, followed by Graham Hunt, boat number 808 in fifth. We're going to try to get you a number here for number 14. That is Joe Johnson. Joe Johnson, who started in that 10th place position. So again, your race leader is 175, Daniel Fiallo, 714. They've got Domenico Barilla in second here. We're not seeing that on our screen. Boat number 975 they have in third. And that would probably be Mohad Salih, boat number 915, and 515. Mikey Martinez in the fourth spot, followed by 808 Graham Hunt in fifth, Cardone in sixth, and in the 1-2-3 of Eric Diaz in seventh. So that's the way that they have it down there in scoring as we go on board right there with Mikey Martinez. Martinez out of Miami, Florida, sponsored by Team CRT. There's 14 coming up on the inside. Joe Johnson and Hunt trying to get past Johnson as they go deck to deck. And Hunt will go ahead and slam that door shut as they head through that left-hand turn.
Yeah, he didn't really give him anywhere to go.
Yeah, trying to hug that turn real tight. Graham Hunt, he's got Martinez in front of him. So it looks like, yeah, that is Barillo back there in the second place position. Domenico Barilla. sponsored by Arilla Construction, and back on board with your race leader, Yaniel Fiallo. All the action going on behind him as he takes a look back and says, hey, that's what Mike's talking about, all that action.
There you go.
So again, it looks like 714 still in third. Boat number 187 pulling off a little bit early, and I believe that's one of the Arcamone boys. Yeah, Dominic Arcamone pulling off a little bit early, as is boat number 63. And that is Jason Williams also pulling off a little bit early. So tough break for those guys in moto number 1. Luckily, they've got another one to go this afternoon.
You can see what a difference it makes when you've got that clean water. But it's going to be interesting to see how the amateurs deal with getting into that lap traffic, and you'll see the difference in how the AMs and the pros deal with the traffic and the changing water conditions.
Well, you know, and that's a good point that you bring up there, Martin. You know, the lap traffic, as we watch in the pros, didn't happen until about 20 minutes into it.
Because they're all comparable skis.
Right, yeah. Now you got 200s out there with the 300 boats, so the lap traffic will be coming up a lot quicker here.
I mean, the leader's got easily 100 yards over the second place ski right now.
Yeah, Fiallo trying to turn this one into a snoozer, and that's what you want to do. If you're out in front, you got to keep charging. You know, you don't want to get out front, get comfortable, and let everybody get back into it. Because if you have a big enough lead with only, you know, that white flag coming out, then you can start to let off a little bit. Then you can take it a little bit easier. Then you can save your motor. But now's not the time to do it.
Well, we also find that you've got to run your race when you're out in the lead. The skis, you're happy at a certain speed with your setup. Is certainly true in the boats. And, you know, you've got to find that rhythm where slowing down is actually a worse ride. So you aren't saving the equipment like you might think you are by slowing down.
Yeah, you're probably actually working a little bit harder. Going back out to it, your race leader still boat number 175, Fiallo, 714, Domenico Barilla in second. It looks like the 915, Moad Salih still in the third place position, followed by 515, Mikey Martinez, 808, Graham Hunt in the fifth spot, Cardone in sixth, 123, Diaz in seventh, boat number 32. I believe that's Johnson in the eighth place. And going back a little further, boat number 69, that's Mikey Boston in ninth. And it looks like we got a rider down. That's boat number 52. 52 having some issues out there, and that is Judson Woods. Judson Woods, there's a name I haven't brought up in probably 25 years. Judson Woods used to race stand-up jet skis, had a shop over in Daytona Beach way back in the day, and wow, I didn't even know Judson was racing. I didn't know he was even in the lineup here, but Judson Woods, unfortunately, having some issues here. So going back, it looks like Sammy Niemi, boat number 13, also in the mix here. Sammy racing his first time here for Broward Motorsports, and you can see your race leader going through that lap traffic already, as we pointed out. The lap traffic coming early here. Again, 25 minutes plus a lap in this amateur 200 and 300 race. Yaniel Fiallo, 175, still your race leader. Fiallo, once again, sponsored by David Cabrera. Cabrera Power Sports shop just opened up about 2 years ago, and for those of you who don't know anything about David Cabrera, Cabrera is a stand-up racer, a veteran racer, been racing for many years, and decided to open up his own power sports shop after retiring from his spot on Telemundo.
There you go.
So again, your race leader, Fiallo, Domenico Barilla. Barilla's another great story there. He's on the black and green Yamaha out there. Barilla, again, out of South Florida. Him and his wife, Michelle, coming to all the races. Got their kids' support. And you can see there's Barilla right there going past some lap traffic. Easy to pick out on that 714. Got the hot pink helmet. And seeing his wife earlier this morning walking around trying to find him some coffee. It looks like he got his coffee. Yeah, he's a great kid. Great for the sport. Been racing for about 25 years. Started with the closed course stuff. His first race about 25 years ago back up in Fort Walton Beach on Okaloosa Island. It's great to see Dominic out there doing well. Again, he's following Fiallo right now. But second place, not a bad place to be, especially at this point in the race.
Now, we're probably just about halfway right now in this 25-minute moto.
Yeah, boy, and that's a long time for these guys to be out there. And you got to remember too is that when they came out, they all came out with the pros, so they were sitting on the beach in the heat for the first 30 minutes before they had the opportunity to go out there while they were watching the pros. So they've been out there for quite some time.
Got a nice clean ride though, as he's got himself around that lap traffic. Now he's got clean water. And you got his sight set on the leader, but the leader's got a big margin right now.
Yeah, all he's got to do is, he's got to be a steady Eddie out there. We talk about this all the time. It's consistency that wins championships. You don't have to win every battle to win the war.
That's a fact.
And the amateurs today, 2 battles today. They'll be racing again about 3:30 this afternoon. Boat number 14 is Joe Johnson. That's what we're hearing here. And I believe that's who we have him as. Boat number 515 is Mikey Martinez. Martinez still running, I believe, in the 4th place position, followed by 808 Graham Hunt. Hunt, who was a winner in Daytona and was doing very well till his boat delaminated in Cocoa Beach in that 18-minute moto. We only had one 18-minute moto in Cocoa.
Yikes.
As Fiallo takes a look behind him and getting ready to go past another one of our back markers there. Looks like that's boat number 101. He's going around. As he'll come up, pull up beside him and say, hasta la bye-bye. Fiallo in the attack position. Like we talked about, there's a lot of different positions that these guys will run in. And sits back down, going to take a rest. He knows he's got a fairly comfortable lead. He's got a couple back markers between he and second place, Domenico Barilla. So he's kind of taking it easy out there right now. And I don't know, he might be taking it easy too quickly. We'll see if Barilla can fight his way back into this one. Moed Salih still back there in the 3rd position. And Mo coming all the way from across the pond to be here. Glad to see that he could make it over this way. Seen a lot of my friends out there actually coming from across the pond. Looks like travel restrictions are easing up a little bit.
That's nice. It's about time. It was great just seeing things like we, are used to seeing them yesterday, especially at the street party, and such a great job to the promoters for putting on such a strong event.
Kudos to them, that's for sure. You're watching P1 Aquacross Amateur 2 and 300 as a part of the 36th annual Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix. Mike Young alongside Martin Sanborn up here in the booth, and boy, I'll tell you, couldn't have a better day to be in the air conditioning.
Exactly.
Try and take a look at what boat number that we have right here. That looks like boat number, is that 32 that we have right there? Possibly 82. That might be Jonathan Dent. Oh, there's 32. That's Luis Vega. Luis racing for Team CRT out of Miami, Florida. Let's get a good, nice, clean shot of that boat, and you can see just how nice those lines are on that new Yamaha. Going past boat number 13. Again, your race leader still boat number 175, Fiallo. As we take a look on board with Yaniel Fiallo, we are just over halfway. And Fiallo getting that green flag as he comes by the scoring boat. And when you see the green flag come up from the scoring boat, that signifies that there's 12 and a half minutes down and 12 and a half minutes plus 1 lap to go.
That's right. You have longer than you thought you did.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And just when you thought you were close. But, when we were talking about that, too, less than 12 minutes into it, Fiallo already going past a couple of back markers and stuff. It took over 20 minutes for the pros to catch up to them back markers, but with the 200s, you can see the green flag being shown to all the racers right there, signifying the halfway mark. Still, your race leader is Fiallo, followed by 714, Domenico Barilla, and then you got the 915 of Mo Salih, and 143 back there in the 4th position. I'm taking a look here for 143. I believe that's Tim Ducat's boat. And it might be 14 and not 143. I believe that might be Tim Ducat's backup boat. That might be Joe Johnson. 808 is Graham Hunt. followed by the 101 back there in the 6th spot. Unfortunately, we don't have the leaders here for the 200 class. We have Sam Nemi on 13, Jason Williams on 63, 143 is Tyler Erith. Boat number 678, Clinton Pace, 813. Kyle Hafali, 612. Christian Natal, 303. Frankie Mojica, who's the current points leader in the 200 class. 173 is Jeff Keiko. 52 is Judson Woods, who pulled off. Jamal Reyes on 999. Errol Lang on boat number 101, who came all the way down from Michigan with his lovely wife, Emily. Boat number 224 is Carson Peterson. Boat number 27, Christopher Teff and Louis Sapero, boat number 210. So at least we said all of the 200 racers' names, even though we can't recognize them up here.
There you go. As our leader just goes by the number 13 boat.
That's Sammy Nemi that he just went by. Sammy Nemi again on a 200 boat. We would expect most of the 200s to get lapped here by Fialo. Again, Fialo running very strong with that Cabrera Power Sports power plant underneath him. You can see he keeps taking a look back, and I can't wait to see him when I'm in the pits again, you know, because he's always asking me for advice, and I want to give him some next time I see him.
The first I remember from the movie Gumball Rally.
Right.
What's behind me is not important.
Right. I'm more of a Ricky Bobby guy.
Yeah.
If you're not first, you're last.
There you go.
Good stuff here in Sarasota this weekend. Glad everybody could join us on the P1 Aquacross live stream as we take a look again at Fialo. Fialo with under 10 minutes to go now. Still charging pretty hard. And again, like you pointed out a little bit early, Martin, you know, he's got a nice, comfortable lead right now, but now's not the time to be comfortable.
No, he actually looks strong on the ski. He doesn't look like he's fatiguing at all. Like you said, he's got a good position on the ski. You know, he's just running a great race.
And that looks like Eric Diaz on the 1, 2, 3 on the outside, getting pushed a little bit wide. Diaz hit the podium in Daytona with a third place finish. Back out to your race leader, 175, Fialo. And Fialo carving it up like a Thanksgiving Day turkey out there.
But now he's having to deal with a little bit more crossway because he's going through the turns. Doing a great job of managing it, though.
Got that right-hand turn, little dog leg as they get ready to come into the front straightaway. And a nice shot there from Green Flight TV. Our drone pilots out there, as you can see, your race leaders working their way into that dog leg. And as we get a little wider shot here, getting ready to come down the front straightaway and parallel to the shores here of Lido Key. Back out to Fialo. Fialo looks like a downed rider, able to get past him. Didn't get a number there on that downed rider, but pulled off the track just a little bit for Fialo, your race leader. Fialo working the north side of the track as we view it here from Lido Beach, and coming up to another back marker. And you can see he's taking it real wide, staying out of the chop again, not getting into all that aeration there. And that is looks like boat number 82 that had that issue out there.
Yeah, his motor is completely off, no power.
Boy, that's a tough break. Jonathan Dent came all the way up from the Honduras to race with us.
There he goes. Now he got it running.
And that guy is a hard charger. I believe Jonathan is 65 years old out here dicing it up with the kids.
Yikes.
Yeah, Jonathan told me back there in the pits, said, listen, man, if they show me on the TV screen, say hello to my family back in the Honduras. So hello to the Dent family back there in the Honduras. Your race leader is still 175, Fialo, followed by Domenico Barilla. Meanwhile, got another racer pulling off. We got 915, Mo Saldi back there in the third place position. Graham Hunt has moved up into fourth. And they got boat number 13 in fifth, but he's in the 200 class, so that's probably a little bit off, unless it's Sammy Nemi winning in the 200 class, followed by Frankie Mojica, boat number 303. And boat number 63 now having some issues. That's Jason Williams. Williams over there having a Starbucks moment with the course marshal. What'd you have for breakfast? Back out to your race leader. We're starting to get tossed around a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that, but it looks like he's fatiguing right now a little bit, Martin.
It's definitely getting a little bit bumpier, and he's almost continuously running in lap traffic with the 200 class.
Doing a great job, though, staying out of their hair, so to speak. As coming up to another back marker. Fiallo, again, great racer. Been racing for about 5 years. Again, like I said, he started off with the drag racing and then moved over to P1 Aquacross in the endurance scene. And he's done very well with a lot of the guys moving up. That's paved the way for him to elevate himself here in the amateur class. So, if he does how he's doing right now, I could see next year when we're in Sarasota here, I can see him being in the pro class.
Well, he's running a fabulous race right now, even getting through the lap traffic, maintaining the distance he had in that lead.
Yeah, Fiallo, again, out of Miami, Florida, sponsored by Broward Motorsports. I thought it was 5 years. He's actually been racing 4 years. Boat number 63 now off. His best finish in P1 Aquacross, that was in Kissimmee St. Cloud about a month and a half ago. He finished first. His best finish at the P1 Aquacross World Championships was a 12th. And his favorite place to race is obviously St. Cloud. His mentor in racing was our good friend Carlito Devalle from Team CRT, and I'm sure you remember that name. Carlito ain't racing in the P1 Aquacross anymore, but that's Yaniel's mentor. So less than 5 minutes on the clock, plus a lap. And boy, this one seems like a little longer than what the pros were, doesn't it?
It does. Well, they're all working a little bit harder. The pros turned into a little bit of a parade once they set their position. And we got the white flag coming out after this lap.
Yeah, and I just seen they showed Domenico Barilla, boat number 714 on that green and black Yamaha, still running in that second place position. So Barilla running, this is one of his best races of the season. He's always had some issues. He's been running up in the top, and then what happens is at the end he'll have a mechanical issue or something break down, and that's been plaguing him. But that was third place we were just taking a look at right there, 9:15. That was Mo Saldi. And again, like I say, Mo coming from across the pond. Always great to have him out here. He's one of those very good self-promoters. He gets a lot of sponsors by his self-promotion. And he's sponsored by Short Block Technologies, SBT, from just up the street in Clearwater. As we take a look back at 714, Domenico Barilla. The white flag be coming out this next time around. And that spells good news for Yaniel Fiallo. Fiallo's favorite place to race may become Sarasota instead of St. Cloud.
There you go. Well, he's run a really good race so far this first moto. He's certainly setting himself up to be the target for the second one.
Well, 25 points going into the second. He's the points leader. And Graham Hunt's right there with him on boat number 808. So I figured it was going to be a Fiallo Hunt, battle right here. But Barilla changing things up, as is Mo Saldi, who's currently sitting back there in the third position.
What a great time to finally get through all of that lap traffic and have clean water for the end of the race.
Oh, yeah. Celebration time. And these guys aren't coming back out till 3:30, so they'll have a little bit of a break here in between the races as we get ready to test the big boats. The offshore boats will be coming up next, doing a little bit of testing here as we take a lunch break. And we'll come back with the pros at 3 o'clock. So Fiallo, again, taking a look behind him as he gets ready to approach, I believe, the dog leg to the right should be. Got a handful of throttle working parallel to the shores here of Sarasota. Now taking the dog leg coming to the shoreline. Now that's when you can take a look back.
That's right.
When you have that 90-degree turn and it's just a short head nod, that's when you want to take a look back as he takes a look over. Should be getting the white flag this time around, and there it is. The white flag coming out for Yaniel Fiallo, sponsored by Broward Motorsports. And boy, I bet there's an ear-to-ear grin underneath that helmet right now.
Absolutely.
As he takes a look behind him, sees he's got a lot of breathing room right now. doesn't really have to, waste the motor in that boat. Knows that he can save it for the second race. And,
and the nice thing is he's going into this final lap. He knows he doesn't have the lap traffic to deal with. The water conditions have changed, so his battle really changed in terms of what the concern would be if he was fighting with lap traffic. That's where you have a far greater chance of making that little mistake that allows that second place boat to get by you.
Yeah, it's no longer a physical battle, it's a mental battle as he heads into the last half of his lap. Once again, the track here today for our P1 Aquacross racers, about 1.25 miles in length, and he's went just about half of that right now, as again he gets ready to raise his hand in victory. Daniel Fiallo, again out of Miami, Florida. Not too much time left to go in this one. Got about a 10 to 12 second lead over second place Domenico Barilla. Mo Saldi and Barilla. That's where the race is going on right now, between that second and third place for that second place position. Because I know Mo was wicking it up, and he was in the same frame as Barilla. As we take a look right there, you can see Barilla on the inside. That's Mo just off screen on the outside right now.
But Mo's actually coming up on a lap boat, and that might give Barilla a little bit of an edge, but I don't think he has enough turns to do it though, Mike.
Yeah, it could be too little too late. As we come down the front straightaway, as the checkered flag will be coming out for that guy right there, boat number 175, as he approaches the dog leg for the final time in this one. There we go. He'll make that right turn. Take a look behind him. Got a lapped rider in front of him. He says, "I got plenty of breathing room.
I don't need to try to get past this lapped rider. Let me just maintain where I'm at. It doesn't matter how far I win by. Just need to win.
Just need to win." There we go. The arms up. The checkered flag is down. And congratulations, Daniel Fiallo, sponsored by Broward Motorsports and Cabrera Power Sports. Straight out of Miami, baby. And he's going to take. He's going to enjoy this one. That's for sure.
Well, that's 2 races in a row where we've had flag-to-flag winners.
Yeah, and you don't see that too often, especially in aquacross. And I think conditions have a lot to do with it here. The flat conditions have a lot to do with it. When you got them surf conditions, you never know what's going to happen.
That's right.
You can see Fiallo saluting all of his friends, and here comes Barilla to say congratulations to him. Barilla 714 taking the second place position. So a great job by them 2 racers rather. And in the third spot, you had Mo back there in third, 143, unofficially in the 4th place position. And again, that's a borrowed boat. I believe it's one of Ducat's old boats. 239 unofficially in 5th. That's Bobby Cardone, 176 back there in the 6th position. Again, another rider that we don't have on the sheet, Mikey Boston in 7th, 173 in the 8th place position. Another one that we don't have here, but we do have that might have been Greg Radulski, and then Graham Hunt back there in 9th. And I'm not sure if Hunt had some issues, but it appears, if this scoring that we have up here is correct, that he had slid back a couple positions, and I don't see Hunt doing that. I see Hunt staying where he's at, and so there might be a couple of 200s that are mixed in here. As again, the marshal comes over to congratulate your winner, 175, Daniel Fiallo. Fiallo taking a page out of Herminio Iantosca's book as
getting something to drink. Well, we'll see if we can get some 200 finish positions before we go to our break.
You see Graham Hunt just on the bottom side of the picture right there. And there's Mo Saldi with the helmet off, talking to Hunt right there. Congratulations once again, 175 Daniel Fiallo, 714 Domenico Barilla, 915 Mo Saldi. Your top 3 here, amateur race number 1. Now I believe it's time for a little bit of testing. We're going to be back at 3 p.m. So for all of you folks listening in on the internet, 3 p.m. is going to be our Pro Enduro 300 class. Martin, looks like it's time for a little bit of lunch, buddy.
There you go.
Well,
We'll see you back at 3 o'clock for our next set of motos. We got more aquacross racing today, more aquacross racing tomorrow, and of course tomorrow, the big boats.
That's right. Stay tuned, folks. Lots of racing to come at you here as a part of the 36th Annual Sarasota Powerboat Grand Prix.
I spent the day in the shade of a tree, thinking how we best spend this precious time that we've been given. I came to thinking that the best use of my time would be with you. That'll make me happy.
Visit Sarasota, beaches and beyond.
Suncoast Broadband. Fast, reliable, high-speed internet with no contracts and no hidden fees. Featuring outstanding customer support and quick installation. Serving Sarasota, Lee, Collier, and Charlotte County. Sign up today at suncoastbroadband.com.